I went with H&R Sport lowering springs. And then brand new paddle shifters. So if you can already tell what I'm doing, I'm changing out the steering wheel and the paddle shifters, as well as the springs. So in my opinion, this car was meant to be lowered. It looks great as it is, but yeah, I can fit an entire fist right there. That, in my opinion, is too high. This is an off-road vehicle at this point. I did think about getting coilovers, but for $1,200 to lower this thing so much to where it changes the entire ride height and suspension, everything, I was like, I don't really want to do that. Plus, I also don't want this thing slammed. And I also heard that with coilovers, you can't really push a lot of power on them because then they'll snap an axle, which from a lot of BMW people, I've heard that, and whether or not it's true, I don't know. I wasn't willing to risk that much money to then just have other things break. They were going to cost me a fortune to replace after that. We're doing these things, and then I think honestly the next upgrade is definitely going to be intercooler, tune, and then front splitter. And then I honestly think this car doesn't really need any more work to it. I really love that I have put my heart and soul into this one and really have made it a clean build. I'm going to go ahead and try this out because I've never actually done this before. So from the wheel cap, the center to that, it looks like a whopping 16.5 inches. No, we'll call it 15 inches there. Yeah, 15 inches. And then from the back over here, we have 15 inches. So the same exact thing. And as you can tell, these measurements aren't exactly super accurate, but they're just a rough estimate. So let's just say that they went from tall to small. Now, I delayed this project a ton because I was super scared on even starting it. This deals with suspension, which is literally one of the most critical things a car can have when driving. So any little tiny error could mean catastrophic failure. Okay, so using an 18mm, getting all the control arms off. And then I think I'm good. And as I started with the rear, there were so many control arms and little pieces to unhook before I could even get access to the spring. And of course, when you've never done a project before on a European car, it's going to be super hard the first time. And then afterwards, when you try and do it again, you know exactly what to do. So this one side literally took me 15 hours to do. The next side, or the next rear, didn't take me much time at all. This was way too much work for one spring. Holy crap. All I gotta say is this shit's not easy. I'm not at the torquing stage. I got the spring in, pretty happy about it, it's blue. I gotta use this big guy. We gotta torque one bolt to 122 foot-pounds. This is a lot harder than what you'd ever think. When you're torquing these things, and yes, I just woke up, so if my eyes are a little swollen and a little watery, that's why. It's like 7 a.m. It's better to do this with 2 people or multiple people because it's so heavy to maneuver that disc. But as of right now, we are just in the stage of torquing these bottom bolts here. These guys, which are the most important. So we have the shock mount bolt, and then we have, I think, what's called the control arm bolt. And then 3 other control arms. But the problem is, this bolt here on that side, closest to the rotor, 122 foot-pounds of torque. The problem is, that's the only thing that actually goes past like 100 pounds of torque. And that adapter right there is like an inch. This took me so long to do, but I finally got all the bolts actually in and on with their nuts, which is good. Now it's just torquing them and tightening, or tightening and torquing them. This we're gonna do first. So 122 pounds of torque. Oh my god, we're almost there actually. Oh my god, we did it. Holy crap, that was so easy. And once I got the control arm torque down to 122 foot-pounds, it was time to torque all the other control arms to 75 foot-pounds. It's honestly a lot more of a struggle than what this even appears to be. Just as an FYI, these over here, there are these tiny screws right there. This is a T30 with, I believe, what would be a 16mm wrench to get that out, but I think I stripped that screw, which is unfortunate. Luckily, I don't ever need that. I just need this one here. Same thing, 16mm, and then a T30, and no torque. And then you get these guys, which are 18mm. I know I keep saying I do everything and then show you guys, but this is probably gonna need to settle for a little bit. That's insane. I actually think it lowered it quite a bit. Now, obviously, let's measure it real quick. I think before it was at 15.5. It literally lowered it by basically an inch. I got both the rear ends done, and that was hard. Like, the torquing part, super hard. The good part is that this is what it looks like now. Now, it may not look like much of a difference on camera, because maybe the suspension needs about a week to settle. We're gonna do the fronts here soon. I'm just like really happy that they're actually going in. The front suspension was about to be a whole nother issue, because this time I had to take out the entire strut in order to actually get access to the spring. But later on, you'll find out how hard that actually is. And now it's time to take out the front springs. But I actually had to take out the front struts with the OEM springs, compress them, and go from there. Firstly, what I am noticing is that the rear was actually way easier than doing the front. I am having the time of my life with the front right now. So this whole entire strut has to come out, which I successfully got, but now putting it back in has been an absolute nightmare. Really bad news, actually. This bolt right here, which is going to the, I think it's called the deadlock or hanging lock, whatever it's called. Yeah, that sucker's stripped. So I'm really hoping that the torque was able to get torqued as much as it could have, because that sucker, there's no saving that bolt. So that's pretty unfortunate there. I don't even think I'm ever going to get that bolt back out. And then the bolts back here, let's just say this, they're not torqued more than 45 Newton meter or 45 foot-pounds, so it shouldn't be that bad. So basically you could pretty much get it yourself. It's more reassuring to hear a click from a torque wrench. But I don't have a deep socket 16, and it feels like I almost stripped that bolt as well. So yeah, little troubling. Now that I officially got 3 corners done, or just the driver's side done alone, it was time for the last one, which is the passenger side. And I can assure you this, after doing the 3, it was rough. I will never do suspension ever again after this video. However, one thing I do want to note to you guys is that if you have an F chassis, or which I think this is also the case for a G chassis, you do have to take out the axles in the front. Now, not actually take out the axles from the wheel hub and everything like that in the differential, it's taking it out of its socket. So you do have to be super careful with it, but it does have the ability to be messed with quite a bit. It does get driven on with loads and loads of torque in pounds. Yeah, so as you can see, I was getting hella tired from the suspension, and I didn't want to do it anymore, so sparks were flying literally, and as you can see now, I'm using a little tire changing jack to hoist up a very, very heavy suspension kit. Not the brightest idea I've ever had, but it worked. Sort of. I'm just kidding, I really didn't. Just wait till the rest of the video, because you're about to see how this actually gets put back into play. So I may have not actually shown you how this gets put back in, but let's just say this. Once you have the axle out and disconnected from its bearing, which is bad, then you can actually take out the strut enough and then push it back in just carefully to get it into the base of the strut. It was hard, but check out how this car looks. Hey, this is me from quite a bit in the future here. Everything's been done, but I know I said we'd do the steering wheel and like paddle shifters and all of that and suspension in one video. I'm actually splitting it up into two. So, subscribe and stay tuned for the steering wheel video because it's actually really freaking cool. It just may be super short, but it's worth the wait.